The name of the game is matrix multiplication. Now, we've talked about how you can add matrices and subtract them and even multiply them by numbers, but today we're going to talk about how you can actually multiply two different matrices together, and it's not going to go the way you expect. The first thing you need to know is that you can't just multiply any two matrices. In order to be able to multiply matrices, the inside dimensions have to match up. So for example, if A is a matrix and B is a matrix, and A is 2 by 3, and B is 3 by 5, then you can multiply A times B because the inside dimensions match up. But now let's switch those guys. Let's try to multiply B times A. That is not going to work out for us because now the inside dimensions are different. So let's go back to the case where they work. Let's look at A times B. We haven't talked about how you're going to do this yet, but we're allowed to do it because the inside dimensions match up. And because the inside dimensions match up, the outside dimensions are going to tell us the dimension of the answer. That means the dimensions of A times B are going to be 2 by 5. Whatever matrix that is, it's going to have 2 rows and 5 columns. Okay, now let's talk about how you actually do it. Let's say that A is the matrix 2, 3, 1, 7, 4, 0. And let's say that B is the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the first thing you got to check is that we're allowed to multiply these guys, and indeed we can, because A is 3 by 2, B is 2 by 2, and the inside dimensions match up. The outside dimensions are going to be 3 by 2, and so that's going to be the dimensions of our answer. To actually figure out how we multiply these guys, let's write down A, and let's take B and write it down, but in the upper right-hand corner of A. What this is going to do is leave us space to write our answer, and it's going to fit out nicely. To figure out the number that goes in this spot, what we're going to do is we're going to take the row that matches up with from A, and the column that matches up with from B. We're going to take the numbers from the row and multiply them with the column that they match up with. Add those numbers together, and that gives you the entry for this particular spot. Let's keep doing this. So if we're going to find the number that goes in this next spot, we're going to take the row that matches with from A, we're going to take the column that matches with from B, we're going to multiply those numbers together, add the result, and Bob's your uncle. All right, we've got a couple more of these to go, so here, let's do it again. We take the row from A, we match that with the column from B, multiply the individual numbers, add them together, and we're good to go. And again, for this guy, we're going to take the row from A, the column from B, match the numbers together, multiply, add, and that gives us the answer. Now guys, when you're doing this, make sure that you are taking rows from the matrix on the left and columns from the matrix on the right. It doesn't really matter if they're called A or they're B. You always take rows from the left dude and columns from the right dude, pair those dudes together, multiply, and add. Then people, you're good to go.